everybody, thank you so much for tuning in today. My name is Jacqueline, and in today's video we're going to be reviewing the brand new Neon Obsessions palettes by Huda Beauty. But before we get started, and if you're new here, please consider to subscribe to my channel and ring that little notification bell so you get to know whenever I upload new videos. Also, follow me on Instagram. I would love to have you there. And now, if you want to know more about these new Neon Obsession palettes, demos, swatches, and eye looks, just keep on watching. So summer is here and Huda Beauty had to launch some beautiful palettes, and I'm talking about the new Neon Obsession palettes, and I have the 3 of them. Look at this beautiful palettes, and they are now available at Sephora.com as well as Huda Beauty's website, and they actually come in 3 different shades. I had to grab all of them. They are just so beautiful. So we have the Neon Orange Obsessions, we have the Neon Green Obsessions, and last we have the Neon Pink Obsessions. All 3, they come in this little plastic package. It's just a clear packaging, and it says on the top Neon Green Obsessions, Neon Orange Obsessions, or Neon Pink Obsessions. And the net weight of this product is 1.1 grams of product times 9, because it's a 9 eyeshadow palette each of them, or 9 times 0.038 ounces of product, which is the same size as her regular Neon Obsession palette. But the difference is basically the price. These palettes right here, they cost $27, while the Neon Obsessions, they cost $29. For me, it really doesn't seem as much of a price difference, because basically you're getting these sturdy plastic packaging instead of the cardboard. Now, some people will say, you know, plastic is not good. Obviously, for recycling purposes, it's ideal to have cardboards, but don't get me wrong, this packaging right here is just so beautiful. It's sturdy, it's plastic, but it's, you know, travel friendly. Now, whoever was the designer of this packaging right here, I think she deserves a raise. They are just so beautiful. I think it's just such a well-designed package for summertime that it looks very sleek. It actually complements the brand really well, and it has those summer vibes. Another difference is the size. This one seems a little bit more taller and a little bit wider than this cardboard packaging, but other than that, those are just the main difference, and I guess that's why you're paying the $2 extra, just because of the plastic, the sturdy box, because the net weight of these 2 shadows are the same, so you're getting the same amount of product. Now, let me open each of these eyeshadow palettes for you. First, I'm going to start with the Neon Orange palette, and this is the outer box. So beautiful. And then when you open it up, there are the beautiful colors speaking to summer. Now here is the Neon Green, and last there is the Neon Pink palette. These palettes are made in China, and after you open them, you have 12 months to use them, and that's the time when they are supposed, quote unquote, to expire. Another important fact about these palettes right here, it is that they are not eyeshadows, quote unquote. They are actual pigments, and I'm sure you may know this by now, but pigments, they're actually not safe to use near the eye area, just because they may either stain or cause an allergic reaction. So you just have to be careful and use them at your own risk. Here are the 3 eyeshadow palettes side by side, and as you can tell, they all come with their mirror. I'm honestly dying to dive into these palettes, so what about we start with the first look? I think I want to go ahead and use the pink palette first. So with a fluffy brush, I'm gonna go into this shade over here on this corner, and it's a very nice, bright, kind of like coral or like pink bubble gum shade. And as you can tell, the brush picks up quite a bit of it. And I'm going to be applying it pretty much on the upper side of my lid. These shadows have great pigmentation, and actually I'm pretty sure these shadows, yeah, this is a pressed pigment palette. So just for your knowledge, I mean, I think at this point in time, we all know if it's pressed pigment, they are not supposed to be used in the immediate eye area because it may cause irritation to some people it doesn't. And also blendability is not going to be the same as a regular eyeshadow, so let's just go with that in mind first and see how they work on the lid. So far this shadow has great pigmentation, and it actually is not patchy, and it's building up fairly well. It doesn't have a lot of kick up either. Next, I want to go into this lilac kind of shade right here. It's kind of like lilac lavender shade. And again, it has a lot of pigmentation. And I'm gonna put it in the middle of my lid. Such a beautiful shade, let me tell you that for sure. It's beautiful. I'm gonna go with the same brush I used before, and I'm just gonna blend in the edges just a little more. Next, with a packing brush, I'm gonna go into this very hot pink neon color. I'm just gonna pack it right here on my outer V. Now this same shade, I'm gonna take it to the lower lash line. And I'm using the same method, just packing it. I'm gonna go again to the same brush I was using before. This is the JH35, and I'm gonna go into this shade right here, just the same shade we were using. And I'm just gonna build it up just a little bit more on the top. And I'm gonna blend in the edges. I wanna use this middle shade right here. It's kind of like a metallic, kind of lilac kind of shade. This shade right here, it's creamy, but you kind of have to dig in and be careful because it may start crumbling. So it's kind of like a little bit of a drier formula. I'm gonna go into this beautiful pink shade in the palette. It has a pink shade with a coral shift to it, really pretty. And I'm gonna go ahead and use this F70 brush by Sigma. And again, I'm applying it all dry. I just want to see what is the payoff of this shadow. Again, you're gonna need to press a little bit hard to get the pigmentation that you want on your brush. And I'm just gonna try to apply it on this edge right here. This shade right here has more glitter particles than the shade I used before. Now going into this shade right here, the middle lilac. Just gonna keep building it. Last, I'm gonna go ahead and use these pearlized, kind of between a pink and a lilac shade, right here. The smaller brush. This is the JH42 brush. This brush really comes in handy, and Morphe has the same brush on the regular line. Okay, these have a lot of glitter in it. I'm just gonna apply it here in my inner corner, and I think this shade needs to be applied actually wet because it doesn't have a lot of payoff. Okay, so this is a very easy look right here. Now I'm gonna do my other eye off camera, and then I will come back with you after I had put liner, or maybe not liner, and maybe just lashes, etc., and show you what is the final look with that neon pink eyeshadow palette from Huda Beauty. And here is the final look using the Neon Pink Obsessions palette. So I just took off the pink eyeshadows, and As you can tell, it has stained my lids. They do not have, I didn't have any allergic reaction to them, but it actually stained my lids. So I'm just gonna go ahead and reapply some concealer and some setting powder. So I have reapplied my concealer and my setting powder after taking off all the neon pink eyeshadow that I was using, and now I'm gonna go into the neon orange Obsessions palette. I'm gonna grab this shade right here in the middle of the pan. This shade is kind of like a mango type of shade, very pretty, very summery, and I'm just gonna go ahead and apply it pretty much on the upper side of my lid. And the brush I'm using is that EcoTools blend brush, so it's just a blending brush. You can use any brush. Next, I'm gonna go into this orange tangerine type of shade on the corner. You see the brush right there is picking up plenty of product, and the brush that I'm using is a Sigma small taper blending brush E45, and I'm just gonna deepen out my crease. Next, I'm gonna be using this Alamar Ojitos #2 brush, and I'm gonna go into this neon coral shade right here in the palette. And I'm just gonna deepen out very little my outer V. Now with a clean fluffy brush, I'm just gonna go ahead and blend a little bit the edges. Now with this Sigma shader lid brush E56, I'm gonna go into this beautiful orange tangerine kind of shimmer shade, this shade right here, and I'm gonna apply it in the middle of my eyelid. Okay, it's not giving the greatest pigmentation, so let me try it by spraying with Fix Plus, my brush, and let's see if that will give me a better payoff. Not much, to be honest with you. I'm gonna go ahead and use my finger. Okay, this shade really applies better with your finger. That's for sure. Next, I'm gonna go into this neon yellow shadow. It's again another shimmer shade, and I'm just gonna apply it in my inner corner. Tap in onto this shadow right here, and just gonna not apply too much, but just tap it in to the inner side of my corner. I'm gonna go into this shade right here, this kind of tangerine shade, with a smudger type of brush, and I'm just gonna apply it on my lower lash line. Okay, my friends, I'm gonna finish my other eye off camera and then come back and show you how is the final look. And now this is the finished look using the Neon Orange Obsessions palette. Okay, my friends, so I have swatched the Neon Pink Obsessions palette, and now here are the swatches for the Neon Orange Obsessions palette. Next eyeshadow palette that I will be using is that Neon Green Obsessions palette, and let me show you some swatches right here. As you can tell, this palette right here contains a lot more shimmers. You will have just 3 matte shades on this palette, which are these two very light lime green, then the neon green on this side, and then this coral shade down here. And the other shadows are actually kind of like foil metallic shades. First shade that I'm going to be using is this light neon green on this side. And I'm going to be using a Zoeva 227 Look Soft Definer brush. And I'm just going to apply it on my upper lid. This is a very light shade. Next, with a Sonia G Crease Pro brush, I'm gonna dip into this neon lime green shade right here on this corner. And it's again another matte shade. As you can see, the brush pick up a lot of pigmentation right there. And I'm gonna put it on my crease. I'm gonna go with a Morphe concealer brush, and I'm gonna dip into this neon shimmer shade in the middle of the top row. And I'm gonna apply it dry and see what is the pigmentation that it gives me. Okay, I'm not having any fallout and pigmentation is fairly good. Let me just try applying it a little bit wet with MAC Fix Plus. With a Sigma pencil brush E30, I'm gonna dip into this coral shade in the pan. And again, this is another matte shade. And I'm gonna take it on my lower lash line. Then I'm gonna create kind of like a little wing right here using this same coral shade. Next, with a JH42 brush, I'm gonna dip into this icy lime green kind of white shimmer shade in the pan. And again, I'm trying to apply it first dry and then see the pigmentation, and then I will see if I need to apply it wet. Okay, this one applies actually really well. This shade has kind of like a minty shift to it. It's not white. It looks kind of whitish in the pan, but it has that glitter mint shift to it. Really, really pretty. And just to create kind of like a halo, I'm gonna use my finger and I'm gonna dab into this middle shade right here, and I'm just gonna put it right in the middle of my eyelid. So now that I'm done with this eye, I'm gonna do my other eye off camera. Now that I'm done with this neon green eyeshadow palette and the eye look, I just want to mention that I use this Endless Silky Eye Pen by Pixie, and this is in the shade Matte Nude. I use it on my waterline, and then I decided to do not go with lashes and just put some mascara, and that's pretty much it. And now this is the final look using the Neon Green Obsessions. Okay, so after all these looks, I think I'm ready to give you my final thoughts on this new Huda Beauty Neon collection. To begin with, I will say that the eyeshadows or pigments, they are fairly easy to apply. If you want them to actually be a little bit more vibrant, you will definitely need to use a lighter concealer or even a white concealer under these eyeshadows. It's kind of the same concept as when you apply nail polish that is neon. You put a base coat that is white and then you put the neon color, so that way it has a nice base to go to, and that way your nail polish will look good and actually neon. As far as the pigmentation goes, they have a lot of pigmentations. They were really easy to blend. There was not much of fallout. I think the only one that I found a little bit more of kick up was in the neon green palette, mostly on this shade right here. So just go carefully. They were pretty much easy to blend. With these type of shadows, the way to apply them, it is to use it can be a packing brush or a little bit more dense brush, and you start applying them and then diffusing them on your lid, and that way you get the best payoff and best color out of them. I will say I have found trouble on these pink neon palette. This shade right here, I don't know if you're able to see, but it's crumbly and it actually moves fairly easy. Okay, if I go like this, I'm not pressing, but you can tell how it's falling. And I'm just gonna repress it back again. I don't know if it's a faulty item or what's the deal with that shade right there, but I will take it to Sephora, that's where I bought it, and just see if I can maybe exchange it. Now, talking individually about each of the palettes, I think these shades right here, the ones that they are kind of like shimmer foil shades, they don't have a lot of pigmentation. They don't give you that wow effect right away. Ideally, use them wet. I think that's how they will work best for you, or apply them with your fingers. Now, as far as the matte, we already talked about those, that they are pigment. There's not a lot of fallout. They are a little bit of a drier formula. Now, on this pink palette, these two shades right here, they are just so similar. I mean, this is just a little bit darker of neon pink, and this is more into a coral pink. But at the end of the game, they will translate pretty much the same on the eyelid. These two shades right here, although in camera they may be pulling a little bit alike. This is a neon kind of lilac shade, while this one right here is a neon hot pink shade, so there's enough difference right there. And I really love this lavender shade right here too. It's a nice shade. And all these shimmer shades right here, they are all different. They have, this one right here is more of a duotone. It's just sad that it just crumbles and move all throughout the palette. It's the only one out of all the palettes that is doing these that is just crumbly. Going into the neon green palette, to begin with, I actually recorded this video 2 days ago because I only purchased the neon orange and the neon pink palettes, and then I said, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and grab the neon green, although it wasn't attractive for me. I love neon. Neons, they just recall for me full summer. It actually reminds me when I was 10 years old and I was back in Peru. Nobody had neon at the time, and I remember my sister, my oldest sister, she was already living here in the United States, and she came to visit and she brought me a lot of neon clothing because that was back on the days, I'm talking about the 90s. It was just so trendy, neon colors. So I don't know, I just have fond memories of that summer. My sister coming back to visit, and I don't know, I just love her so much. So neons just, you know, it just speaks in another level for me. I'm not the person who actually goes wearing like very vibrant makeup in daily basis. I like to play with makeup, but it's not that I will wear this type of look every single day. So this palette right here, to begin with, didn't catch my attention because I just saw that there was this row right here, you know, that it was actually green. Then this that has a shift green, white with a shift green shade. And then the rest right here are purple, 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 and then this coral shade, and then this bronzy shade right here. So out of all of them, the green palette is the one that to me is not a full neon theme. I know that the colors will work really good with these neon greens right here, but I don't know, it's the only neon palette in this collection that the color story didn't speak to me in another level. Hopefully it makes sense. Out of all these three neon palettes, the one that speaks in another level for me is a neon orange palette. This palette I think is beautiful because you do have your oranges, you have a yellow right here, this shade right here, although it looks like very yellow, it has kind of like a shift to a lime green, so it's kind of like in the edge between a yellow and a lime green. And then you have your hot pink right here, neon hot pink. So this palette right here to me is kind of like, okay, this is the perfect neon because I can tone it down with these colors right here. I can play with these colors right here and amp it up a little bit more, or I can make a very pink look with this shade right here and this shade right here. So I think out of all of them, that neon orange palette is the one that steals my heart, and that's, maybe I love orange as you can tell, but I don't know, I just like those coral looks. I don't know, you just have more of a summer vibe. The pink one is just a little bit too pink. I like the lilac included in there. I think it's a nice addition to it, so it's kind of fun. And definitely that green one is the one that I will say, no, it's not the one for me. I knew it from the beginning, and I just said, you know what, I'm just gonna add it to the video. I'm just gonna go and purchase it and kind of review it, just to give you the most comprehensive review and most useful review for you to decide whether or not this full collection is for you, or which palette you want to grab if you don't want to get all three of them. And I think that's that for my opinion. Other than that, I think the packaging is beautiful. The price is on par with the other ones. The upgrade of the $2, I mean, is not too harmful per se, and you're getting I will say a decent quality of eyeshadows. I hope this video is helpful for you to decide whether or not this collection is good for you, if you are planning to purchase any of these palettes or not. Leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts about these palettes. Thank you so much again for watching. Don't forget before you leave to subscribe to my channel and ring that notification bell. I would love to have you here more often and grow this family. And don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much again for watching, and you have a beautiful, wonderful day. Bye-bye.